DeepSeek's new AI models are making waves, and suddenly the AI rivalry between the US and China has gotten a lot more interesting. But the twist is these models from DeepSeek are open and affordable, and they are a real challenge to the West's AI heavyweights like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. There have been other good models from China, notably Alibaba's Quen, but DeepSeek seems to have been the one to break through the imagination of AI teams. So suddenly, companies in the West are giving it a whirl and trying it out. And so it seems like there is a shift in the AI landscape as far as foundation models. So if you're building AI applications, what should you do? So we've got some key takeaways and action steps coming up next. Buckle up, folks. The speed of AI innovation is just exploding. And the price of training seems to be plummeting. Training these super smart models, I thought for a while was going to keep getting more and more expensive, but DeepSeek seems to have changed that narrative. So it's not just about cheaper, it's also about smarter. These new models are starting to reason. And DeepSeek's R1 is a prime example, and even Google DeepMind is impressed. So you might argue that there's no true research advancement in what they've done, but still, putting all the pieces together that you can read about in research that will allow you to train these models cheaper and deploy it so that it's also cheaper to operate is a huge advance. So this is no longer a US-centric AI world. The competition is heating up globally, and China is really making some progress. So if you're building AI applications, what does this mean for you? Well, first, think agile. Your team needs to be ready to jump on these new capabilities quickly. And second, don't stop learning. Seriously, AI skills are becoming perishable goods in some ways. So continuous learning is now mission critical. So the bottom line is AI is getting faster, smarter, and more accessible. Part 2, optimizing efficiency and resources, or doing more with less. So now we're in the era where AI is about to get leaner and meaner. So it's not just about model size anymore, but it's also very much about smarter resource use. Techniques like model compression and quantization and shrinking these giant models to size. So why does this matter? Because suddenly you can run powerful AI on regular computers, even phones. So you might not need massive server farms for everything anymore. So DeepSeek's R1 is a prime example of this. They've shown that you can get serious performance even on less powerful machines using smart engineering. It's not about just software tricks, it's also about hardware strategy. Thinking beyond just throwing more GPUs at the problem. So of course now we also have specialized chips like Cerebrus and chips from Apple, for example, that run on the phone, and clever ways to split up the work. So you need to get the most bang for your buck in compute power. So what should your AI team be doing? So first off, start thinking about efficiency from day one. Don't just bolt it on at the end. Test everything. Test all of these hardware options, right? So CPUs, GPUs, these new TPUs, the chips from Apple, for example, on the edge, or Cerebrus on the cloud. Figure out what hardware mix actually works best and cheapest for your specific needs. The bottom line is AI is getting more accessible. Optimization isn't just a nice to have, it's going to be key to making your application practical and widespread. Part 3, data as a strategic asset that fuels model performance. Forget about fancy algorithms and network architectures for a second. Foundation models start with the data you feed them. And it's no longer just about the amount of data. It turns out quality trumps quantity big time. Clean data, good data, representative data, that's the gold. A small, well-curated data set can beat a massive, messy one any day. It means focusing on getting your data right from the get-go. So now we're talking about serious data cleaning, data transformation, double checking, even making more data when you need it. So using synthetic generation tools. But this also means that the data engineering tools we devised a few years ago, which were mostly aimed at structured data that was going to land in data lakehouses, we will need a new set of tools for the age of unstructured data, multimodal data, and where the data processing that you need for training will need to leverage both CPUs and GPUs. And the smart teams are really also getting creative with the data sources that they're using. So open data, government data sets, and data alliances, and teaming up with other organizations to share data. So what are some of the key takeaways here? First, invest in data excellence. Make data quality a priority, not an afterthought. Set up data rules, automate checks, and yes, actually spend resources on data prep. So this is not glamorous, but this is where a lot of the magic happens. Bottom line, data isn't just input anymore. It's a strategic advantage. So treat it like gold. Number 4, talent, the human element of AI innovation. At least until we reach AGI, AI will remain a people business. All the tech is amazing, but it's brilliant humans who will make it happen. And guess what? The race for top AI talent is fierce. And it's not just about throwing money at people anymore. The best minds in AI want more than a paycheck. They want impact. They're looking for places and teams where they can actually build things and make a difference. That means maybe ditching the old corporate ladder. Flatter teams, less bureaucracy, and more like a cutting-edge research lab. That's the vibe that a lot of the AI talent are looking for. So DeepSeek really seems to get this. They've attracted top talent, even from top universities, by offering autonomy and a chance to really contribute. And the other thing that DeepSeek has done is they're not necessarily going for the most experienced people, but they're looking for people who are extraordinarily smart and talented and looking to really make a difference. And they believe they can train people from scratch, or at least in the context of having mentors and experienced people. But basically, they also want people who don't have preconceived notions, who are willing to think out of the box. So it turns out many of the best engineers are not just looking west, but they're also looking east in China. So the China AI scene is booming, and there are many exciting opportunities. So what's the takeaway for your team? Well, you need to invest in your people, not just your tech. Create a culture that celebrates innovation and learning. And very importantly, give your teams room to breathe. to experiment, to even fail sometimes. That's really how breakthroughs happen. Bottom line is, in AI, your biggest asset isn't necessarily your algorithms or your data, it's your team. Treat them like gold and they'll build the future. Number 5, open source, harnessing transparency to democratize AI. So let's talk about sharing in AI. There's a twist because everything is not completely open. In the case, for example, of DeepSeek, they released the model weights as well as some training recipes, but really not the full training code or serving code. But still, open weights is turbocharging innovation because when researchers and developers can access the weights, they can experiment, improve, and build faster. Again, to caution, this is not a full open source in the traditional software sense, but in the context of AI, this form of openness is quite powerful. So open weights has huge benefits. It can drive down costs and foster collaboration. It allows researchers and smaller companies to compete and innovate without needing to build everything from scratch. They can build on top of these shared weights. They can fine-tune these models and distill these models, for example. And so if you compare what Meta and some of the Chinese companies like DeepSeek and Alibaba are doing to leading AI companies like OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, they are significantly sharing a lot more that developers can build upon. And this form of sharing has geopolitical implications as well, because these open weights models can spread more widely and be adopted globally and has the potential to shift the balance of AI power. So there are considerations, right? Because if the weights are open, maybe bad actors can take advantage of that to figure out ways to abuse the model or misuse the model. But still, right now, I would say the benefits are considerable to even just releasing the model weights. Because they are a powerful starting point for AI projects and can really accelerate development. So keep an eye on this trend. Open weights is really turning into a significant movement in AI, and it's changing how the field is developing. You can see the impact, for example, of DeepSeek on the stock price of NVIDIA, for example, among other things. And it's a much more nuanced kind of open, but it's still about sharing, collaboration, and accelerating progress. And pay attention. And if I were you, I would definitely architect my applications so that there are model agnostic, because I believe that these open weights models will continue to stay on par with the leading commercial models. Part 6, navigating the geopolitical and regulatory landscape. So the US and China are in a very real AI race, and this isn't just about bragging rights. It has big implications for who leads in technology and beyond. And this competition affects everything: who you can partner with, where you can sell your AI, and even what kind of research gets funded. And in addition, as AI gets more powerful, the regulatory and ethical questions get louder. Think security, privacy, bias, misuse. Whether it's open source or top secret, all of your AI technology will need to fall in line with the regulations all over the world. And so what should your team be thinking about? Think global. Understand the geopolitical currents and the international tensions. Stay informed about regulations, not just in your country, but everywhere you might operate. So in the US, this might play out less at the federal level, but there are state level regulations coming online this year. AI is truly borderless, and so are its implications. So develop your own ethical guidelines, your own security protocols. Make sure you have an incident response playbook, because whatever you do, your AI will at some point falter and misbehave. And you've heard me talk about this numerous times, but given that there will be regulations all over the world, it will be very hard to coordinate your cross-functional teams to comply with these regulations. So you really need to think in terms of adopting an AI alignment platform. So bottom line, AI is a global force with global implications and global responsibilities. Navigate this landscape wisely and efficiently, and look into an AI alignment platform and build your AI incident response playbook ASAP. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our newsletter at gradentflow.substack.com, or give us a small tip at buymeacoffee.com/gradentflow. Catch you next time.